Later that evening, while Susu and Arinze were in their house, a royal guard went to notify them that dinner was ready and that the king had asked them to come to the palace. Okay, thank you very much. We will be coming shortly. Give us a few minutes and then the king will see us, Susu said, and then they waited for the royal guard to leave. Remember what we planned. If the princess doesn't sit next to us, then I will have to hug her and pretend like I'm only meeting her for the first time, Susu said. Yes, I remember. You have no idea how happy I am for this plan, Arinze said. Alright, let's go. We must not keep the king waiting, Susu said, and with that, they left for the king's palace. Luckily for Susu and Arinze, upon getting to the king's palace, there were no royal guards in the dining area, which made executing their plan very easy. Ah, this is a lot of food. My king, are we having a feast? Susu asked jokingly. Oh, not at all. Since we are mending our broken ties, I thought it would be great to eat to our satisfaction. And if this is not enough, there is plenty from where this came. King Chidi said, and they all laughed. Shortly after Arinze, Susu, King Chidi, and the queen sat at the dining table, Susu asked after the princess. My king, what about Princess Amarachi? Will she not be joining us? Susu asked in a gentle voice. Oh, she will. You know she plays a lot. She just returned from playing with her friends not long ago, so the maids are trying to freshen her up. Don't worry, she will join us shortly, Queen Uma said. Oh, here she is already, King Chidi said. Just as Queen Uma was talking about Princess Amarachi, she walked into the dining area and joined her parents at the table. Princess Amarachi, how are you? Arinze asked with a forced smile. I'm fine, thank you. And you? Amarachi responded politely. Ah, look at you. You are now a big girl. Was it not just yesterday that we heard the queen had given birth? Susu said in a playful tone. We can't explain it too. These children grow so fast. Very soon, she will even be taller than me. Queen Uma laughed. Come, let me carry you. Your parents and I used to be very good friends, but I'm sure you have not seen me in the palace before, Susu said to Princess Amarachi. Go and say hello. Queen Uma gestured at Princess Amarachi to go to Susu and Arinze. As soon as Amarachi got up from her seat to walk to Susu, Susu removed the charm from her purse, which was lying on her thighs, and held it tightly. When Princess Amarachi eventually reached where she sat, Susu used the charm to touch Amarachi's back while pretending to hug her. After the hug, Princess Amarachi returned to her seat and began eating her food. When she returned to her seat, Susu and Arinze expected that the charm would work immediately. They kept waiting for Princess Amarachi to start acting weirdly, but that did not happen. Little did Susu and Arinze know that the witch doctor had suspected that they were lying to him. So he did something to the charm whereby it could only do its purpose if Susu and Arinze were telling the truth. But if they were lying, they would suffer dire consequences. Is everything all right? King Chidi asked when he saw that Susu and Arinze were lost in thoughts and distracted. You have barely touched your food, he added. Oh, nothing, my king. Nothing at all, Arinze lied. Then he tapped Susu's leg under the table and they began to eat. Precisely 10 minutes after Princess Amarachi returned to her seat, something terrible happened to Susu. All of a sudden, Susu began to sing very loudly and move her body as if she was listening to music. Susu, what are you doing? Arinze asked in a muffled tone. Have you forgotten where we are? You better behave yourself. Arinze added, My husband, Can't you hear the drums that are beating from afar? Susu asked with a very weird smile. What drums? King Chidi asked in shock. Are you sure that everything is okay with her? King Chidi added. Yes, my king. She is fine, Arinze said. Even Arinze did not know what was happening with Susu. While Arinze, King Chidi, and Queen Uma were trying to understand why Susu suddenly began acting strangely, Susu did something embarrassing. She got up and danced, then slowly began to take off her clothes. Susu! Arinze yelled. What has come over you? What is this nonsense you are doing? Arinze added. But Susu did not respond. In fact, she even began to show signs of aggression when Arinze yelled at her. Oh my gosh! I think she has run mad! Queen Uma said. Immediately Queen Uma said that, Arinze looked at Princess Amarachi, who was still very sane, and he looked at his wife, who was almost naked. How can this be? Arinze soliloquized. Arinze could not believe their plans had backfired in the worst possible way. Guards, please come over here! King Chidi yelled, and 4 guards ran into the dining area immediately. By this time, Susu had become very aggressive and was beginning to destroy some plates on the dining table. My king, what do I do now? This is the most embarrassing thing that has happened to me in my life, Arinze said in a teary voice. Don't worry. We will get her help. Since this happened in my palace, it is my responsibility to make sure that she gets all the help we can give from our village and the neighboring villages, King Chidi said. I don't even know what to say, Arinze said. This time, Arinze could not even hold back the tears already dripping down his cheeks. Arinze, tears will not solve this problem. You are a man. You need to be strong for your wife, King Chidi said. Look at how she is even fighting with the guards. Arinze pointed weakly to Susu, struggling with the palace guards who were trying to bind her hands and legs. Don't worry, she will be fine. First thing tomorrow morning, I will send for our native healer. He has cured many insane people in the past, so do not worry. Your wife will be fine, King Chidi assured him. That night, when Arinze returned home, he could not even sleep. He was very worried about Susu and hoped that the native healer could heal her. The following morning, as soon as the sun rose, Arinze rushed to the king's palace to see Susu. Out of respect and compassion for Arinze, King Chidi had ordered the guards to keep Susu in an empty room where she would not harm herself. Oh, Arinze, you are here already, King Chidi said when he saw Arinze in the palace. I could not sleep last night. I was very worried about your wife, King Chidi added. Me too. I couldn't even close my eyes for a minute, Arinze said. I know you didn't. No husband would sleep if his wife was in such a condition, King Chidi said. I have sent some palace guards to go and bring the native healer. They should be here any moment from now, King Chidi added. Thank you very much, Arinze thanked the king. About 10 minutes later, while Arinze and King Chidi were waiting in the palace guards returned with the native healer. Good morning, my king. May you live forever, the native healer greeted King Chidi. Thank you for coming on short notice, King Chidi thanked the native healer. I am always at your service, the native healer said. Then he turned to Arinze, whose eyes were red and swollen from crying. Arinze, I heard what happened. I assure you that I will do my best to help your wife regain her sanity, the native healer said to Arinze. Thank you. Let me take you to her, Arinze said. When the native healer entered the room Susu had been locked in, he walked to Susu, said some incantations, and then, with the help of the guards, he forcefully poured the concoction he had made into Susu's mouth. There is something strange about her insanity. It is not normal, the native healer said. I don't understand. What do you mean by that? King Chidi asked. I have seen and healed many insane people in the past, but I have not seen anything like this. I'm afraid that Susu's madness is not natural, the native healer said. Does that mean you cannot heal her? King Chidi asked. I will not lie to you, and I will not waste your time either. I cannot heal her. This is beyond my knowledge. Maybe you should check the neighboring village. You might find someone who handles this kind of case, the native healer said. Ah, but you are the most powerful native healer I know. Are you sure there is nothing you can do? King Chidi asked. I'm afraid there is nothing I can do, the native healer said before leaving the palace. What do we do now? Arinze cried. He was my only hope, Arinze added. Do not worry. Just because he cannot heal your wife, that doesn't mean another person can't. Let's be patient, King Chidi said. After the native healer left King Chidi's palace, King Chidi sent for more native healers from the neighboring villages, but unfortunately, none of them could heal Susu. They all said that Susu's insanity was not natural, hence their herbs could not help her. After 2 weeks passed and no one could still heal Susu, Arinze became very desperate to find help for his wife. He even thought of taking her to the witch doctor who had made the charm for them. But the only problem was how he would take an insane woman on such a far journey. The day Arinze told King Chidi that he wanted to take Susu to another village so he could get her help, King Chidi kicked against the idea. Whoever you want to see, we can ask the person to come here. Your wife is in no condition to be taken out of this palace, King Chidi said. My king, but he is an old man, and I don't think he can travel such a long distance by foot, Arinze said. That's not a problem. If he cannot travel by foot, then we will send him a horse. If he says a horse is too uncomfortable, then we will send him a carriage, King Chidi said. When Arinze heard that, he knew that he had no other option but to send for the old witch doctor. 2 days after Arinze had that conversation with King Chidi, the old witch doctor arrived at the king's palace, and when he saw Arinze, he was not surprised at all. My king, I know why you have sent for me, the witch doctor said. But before I heal the insane woman in your custody, her husband here has to confess, the witch doctor added. Confess to what? King Chidi asked in shock. Arinze, don't tell me you have a hand in your wife's insanity, King Chidi said. My king, it is more than what you think. I would have loved to tell you everything myself, but I prefer that you hear from the horse's mouth, the witch doctor said. Oh, okay, I will confess, Arinze said. It wasn't Susu who was supposed to be mad. It was Princess Amarachi, Arinze added. I don't understand. What are you talking about? Queen Uma, who was sitting beside her husband, asked. At first, Arinze was reluctant to tell King Chidi and Queen Uma everything. But when he remembered that Susu would not be healed if he refused to confess, he told them the truth. Ah, so people can be this wicked? King Chidi exclaimed in shock. You came to me in my palace and told me that you wanted to settle our issue from the past, and I welcomed you with open arms, not knowing that you were here to afflict my daughter, King Chidi said. So, If your evil plan did not backfire, Princess Amarachi would be the one in that room? Queen Uma asked, and Arinze nodded. You are such a wicked man. So you knew the reason why those native healers could not heal your wife, and you never said anything. Queen Uma added, Please, I have confessed. Can you heal my wife? Arinze turned to the witch doctor. Have you forgotten that your wife asked me to do a very powerful charm so no one would be able to cure the madness? The witch doctor said, Please, do something. I know there is something you can do. Arinze begged. Where is she? Take me to her, the witch doctor said, and Arinze took him to the room Susu was locked in. As soon as the witch doctor entered the room, he did some incantations, then tapped Susu's head 3 times with his talisman, and she regained her sanity immediately. My husband! What happened? Susu asked in shock when she saw that both her hands and legs were tied. But before Arinze could respond, King Chidi and Queen Uma entered the room. Arinze and Susu, King Chidi called them. For planning such evil against me and my daughter, you are hereby banished from Dara village. The guards will escort you out of the village. King Chidi added, my king, please, it has not gotten to that. Arinze begged, but King Chidi would not listen. Guards, take them out of here, King Chidi ordered. With that, the palace guards dragged Arinze and Susu out of the king's palace and eventually out of Dara village. Unfortunately, not only did their evil plan backfire, but the wicked couple were banished from the village forever. The end. Did you enjoy this story? Tell us your favorite parts in the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also, do not forget to follow our channel on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.